CS, you mentioned in the white paper a recent research study you did, which is called Network Manager Survey, revealing that one of the top priorities was on improving application performance. Can you give us a little bit more on that?
Yeah, in fact, one of the priorities was improving application performance. The other one was improving user experience. Now, you can say they're related, but it's interesting to note that from a network manager survey, their top two priorities were user experience and app performance. And that's changed. It's 180 degrees different than when I was in IT, because network managers weren't all that concerned with app performance. I think one of the things that's changed in networking is this focus on user experience, and it needs to change the way we manage our networks. I think the historical way of managing networks was to take a look at each individual element and then focus on red light, green light. Is this node up? Is this node down? Now, we build our network so redundant today that actually I can walk into almost any data center, flick off a router, and things are going to keep working. So the red light, green light monitoring doesn't really work and isn't really all that meaningful. As an aside also out of this survey, I can tell you that 3/4 of application performance problems are actually reported by the user, not the IT department, right? So the IT department itself doesn't have the necessary tools today to be able to truly manage user experience or app performance. I think what's needed is an entirely new change in management philosophy. If you're truly going to manage app performance or user experience, you need to look at the infrastructure and network flows through the lens of the application or the user. Only then can you be able to build relationships and understand dependencies on a device-by-device basis to be able to understand how an application is truly performing. If you can go to this model, though, and be able to benchmark all your applications, now the whole IT management paradigm changes. IT historically works in a very reactive mode. Changing the management paradigm means IT can now go from a reactive model to a predictive model, and I think in many ways that's the holy grail for IT.
And do you think the industry will be able to go to some metric like a QoE metric that is standardized across the industry, or is that, there's a lot of new work being done around that?
There is a lot of work being done around QoE, and I think it exists today in one application, which is voice over IP. We have MOS scores, right? Now, MOS score, it's a mean opinion score, and it's a relative scoring of how the voice traffic is performing to be able to understand whether there's business quality. Unfortunately, there is no MOS score for video, desktop virtualization, retail transactions, but I think what you're going to see over the next couple of years is companies in certain verticals build their own version of a MOS score for whatever their critical application is, and then after that we'll start to see some standardization. So I think it's coming. I think it'll be done very ad hoc initially, but eventually we'll build some best practices around it, and that'll lead us to that point where it is standardized.